Hey guys, welcome back to Mock Draft Madness, day 16 of doing a mock draft every single day until the NFL draft. A lot of things have happened in the last day since doing my 2-round mock. So as always, if you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, let me know in the comments your favorite, least favorite pick from this mock draft, any trades you want me to try. I will try them out. We got a lot of mock drafts up until April 25th, where the actual NFL draft is happening. Also, thank you guys for the comments on the 2-round mock. It did so much better than I thought it was going to do. Not that I thought it would do bad, but more of just the fact of I went into it. I don't have a ton of experience with the 2-round mocks, and there was a lot of good suggestions and comments in there that kind of informed me a little bit more about team needs when it gets to that second round. And then also, certain players going in certain spots, like where you think I'm doing better to read up. I've been reading the PFF draft guide. I'm excited for the beast that Dane Brugler is going to release through The Athletic. So trying to get a really good gauge of these prospects before we get into the draft. So today is going to be a regular 1-round mock, but I think I'm going to try to do a 2-round mock every week. I'll try to do one maybe on Saturdays when I have a little bit more time. I think that would be fun. And then maybe I'll do a 3-round mock once we get a little bit closer to the draft. We got some fun videos coming up for you guys. We're going to have just more mock drafts, more mock draft reactions. I have someone coming on in a couple weeks that I'm excited to talk to kind of about insider scoops and things like that. So that'll be fun, but let's get right into it. I'm not going to keep holding you guys. So at number 1, Justin Fields has been traded to the Steelers. I've been saying this. He is gone. So for the few comments that I get that say, trade the number 1 pick, no, it's not going to happen. That is the most unrealistic thing to happen in these mock drafts, is trading the number 1 pick. Ryan Poles, there's zero chance. Even if he was selecting a different quarterback, there's zero reason to trade the number 1 pick, in my opinion, because if this is your guy, your job depends on it, you need to make sure that you get him. So, Caleb Williams to the Bears. Now, this is where my thinking has changed a little bit. The more and more I am reading, and the more and more I'm hearing from, analysts and insiders and all that stuff, I'm seeing, and maybe this is all smoke, I'm seeing that Jaden Daniels is falling hard. Like he might not even be the 3rd quarterback off the board, that it might be J.J. McCarthy. So, I'm going to take Drake May. And what I've been hearing is, I think it was Matt Miller said that the Vikings have been in talks with the Patriots and the Cardinals. So, Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Los Angeles Chargers is very real. But I'm going to do something a little weird this mock draft, something we have not done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Jaden Daniels here. Okay. I know what I just said, but until, it's kind of proven that the Patriots aren't in on him, we just got to go that way. But what I'm going to do is this. I am going to trade out with the Arizona Cardinals, because we saw what they kind of did last year. They are trying to stockpile picks. I mean, look at this. Houston, Tennessee, Houston, Minnesota, New York Giants. They're trying to rebuild this team, and this team still has a lot of holes. So we're going to trade this pick with the Minnesota Vikings, who are going to come up and take JJ. 11, 23, first next year. And I got a couple comments about this, and it was nothing coming at me, but you guys got to remember, the Trey Lance trade was pick swap this year, a 3rd, a pick swap a first the next year, and then a first the year after that. So there was actually more included in the Trey Lance trade than what we're doing here. And yes, you could argue that the first is this year, so the second first is this year, so it's more value. I still don't think that matters a ton. And you could talk about draft charts, this, that, and the third. That doesn't matter when you're trading up for a quarterback. It is very different. Any other pick, yes. When a quarterback's involved, that is not the same. And Arizona is knowing that they're going to be trading up for a quarterback. They have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson. There'd be no other reason for them to move up. So we're going to force this trade through, right? So now Arizona is going to have 11, 23, and 27, and 2 firsts next year. That is 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. Now tell me, would you rather have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years or Marvin Harrison Jr.? Cardinals fans, let me know. Force that trade through. Oh, my God. What's going on? Did I just trade? What is going on? Did I just trade with the wrong team? What's happening? Where's the Vikings? Oh, my God. I did not give them... I didn't give them the pick. Hold on. Minnesota Vikings. Let me force this trade through. I was like, what the fuck? Why aren't the Vikings? That would be crazy. If that happened, you'd have to burn down the front office of the Minnesota Vikings. So with the Minnesota Vikings on the board, they're going to take J.J. McCarthy. Okay, so now we have the Los Angeles Chargers on the board. Do they trade down or do they get a tackle? I mean, I don't know if you can pass up Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the craziest thing. And they just got rid of Marvin Harrison Jr. and they got rid of Keenan Allen. They got rid of Mike Williams. Sorry, guys. This is a little late night video. So I don't know if you can pass up on Marvin here. I really don't. But at the same time, there's really not going to be anybody that's going to trade out here. And I know they probably want to tackle, but I think, is there any team that would be willing to trade up to try to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? And I don't know if there's really any here that would. I think Chicago would possibly be a player because of kind of what the Texans did last year where they traded up and got some of the best players in the draft. The Bears have four picks in this draft total. And I don't know if they'd be able to swing it. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the board and they don't really have a receiver, I think they want to build through the trenches. I don't know. The Harbaugh, I'm really interested. The Chargers are probably one of the most interesting teams in the draft this year. So I think I'm going to go. It's really hard for me to pass up Marv here. So let's see who's offering a trade. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it, man. I got to go Marv here. Number 6, I am going to go Malik Neighbors to the New York Giants. And then we are going to go Joe Alt to build up that line. Number 8, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so I think they're going to go edge here. I think Dallas Turner is probably the easy selection. I had them trading back and taking Jared Verse yesterday. So let's go back to Dallas Turner. Rome Odunze is sitting here on the board at 9. That is an easy selection for the Chicago Bears. So, do the New York Jets draft a tackle because they have their O-line, or do they go Brock Bowers? I hear, from what I've been hearing, is the Jets are looking for a wide receiver. Now, do they find another weapon for Aaron Rodgers in the draft? Because my thing is you have the defense built up, so this is going to be an offensive pick. But are you securing the line for the future, or are you trying to give Aaron Rodgers as many weapons as you can? And I think you're probably... it's hard. Okay, here's the thing. You should take Fuaga or Olu right here, but the reality is this is going to have a more instant impact and probably give you a better chance of winning a Super Bowl. So I'm going to go Brock Bowers. At number 11 now. So we have 11, 23, and 27. So we can attack the draft in so many different ways. Okay? So I think you're going to want to get a tackle here. And I think you're going to want to beef up your interior. You could also get the best corner on the board. So what we could do here is I think grabbing a guy like a Byron Murphy could be kind of a game changer for them. I could also possibly see them grabbing an edge. There's so much we could do here because we could take Fuaga and pair him with Paris Johnson and move Paris Johnson to the left side, or we can maybe get an Olu. I don't know. There's just so much that we can do here. And I think the reality is if we have 2 later picks, we got to look what's on the board here. We can get a tackle later. It's not going to be Fuaga, but we can get a tackle later, right? And we can get a wide receiver later. So maybe I'm between these two guys right here. Or, really Arnold, Mitchell. And you can get one of the corners later as well, too. See, these guys I don't think are going to make it. So I think we're going to go Byron Murphy here. At number 12, we have and I know you guys signed Justin Jones and everything. I think you guys overpaid a little bit. As a Bears fan, Jones was really not doing much. But you get a young, talented guy. And you signed Sean Murphy-Bunting. So maybe, obviously, you need more help. But I think this was actually the right move now, the more I think about it. At number 12, we have the Denver Broncos on the clock. So you need a quarterback. And are we looking at Bo Nix here? I think it's realistic that the Broncos could go quarterback at 12. I also am kind of convinced that they're willing to just let one of them fall to the second round. The issue is they don't have a second round pick. So you could go quarterback here. And here's my thing. Bo Nix can be a late first, right? I just think the reason he could fall in the second is because simply teams don't need him. But he might just be like the perfect quarterback for the Sean Payton team. And with kind of the lack of moves they've made at quarterback this offseason, like they haven't got anybody, it's just like I find it hard to believe that they're going to punt this season away. So maybe they move up into the second round and get Bo Nix. But I think I'm going to give Bo Nix here to the Broncos. And honestly, I really like the way this draft is shaping up. It is definitely very different than the ones we have done in the past. At number 13, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Fuaga falls right into their lap here. You could add a cornerback in a Quinyon Mitchell or a Terrion Arnold. But Fuaga, for the price or for the value, just makes so much sense. At number 14, we have the New Orleans Saints. You could go tackle here. If Olu's here, that would be really nice. You could also grab any of these D linemen here. And I guess it depends. I really think like your D line is, I don't know what's in worse shape, honestly. Jerzon Newton would be such a nice add, but I think I'm going to go Jared Verse here. So now we have the Indianapolis Colts on the clock. I'm going to give them Terrion Arnold. At number 16, we have the Seattle Seahawks. So they do need edge, and they don't really need corner. They don't need running back or wide receiver. They kind of need quarterback, but I just can't see Penix going here. Penix would actually not be a bad pick for the Seahawks the more I think about it. Not at all. They already have the weapons there. They kind of have the line. Jackson Powers, Troy Fautanu right there. Play all interior, can play tackle if you need. There's some injury history on that O-line. Very solid player for the Seattle Seahawks. At number 17, I just think, Tyson Campbell, Quinyon Mitchell, putting them right next to each other would be nice. Don't really need that interior, the O-line. Jerzon Newton would also be a nice add. But I'm going to go Quinyon Mitchell. Then I'm going to go Jerzon Newton to the Cincinnati Bengals. I know they signed Shelton Rankins, but I still think they need a little bit more help. At number 19, we have the Los Angeles Rams, who just lost Aaron Donald to retirement. You're in an interesting spot where you don't really need O-line at all. And you do need a corner. So I think maybe going Cooper to Gene would be good for them. At number 20, let's give the Pittsburgh Steelers Jackson Powers Johnson. At 21, we have the Miami Dolphins. And they need defensive interior. They need... I'm trying to think here, guys. Graham Barton would be a good addition to that line. And I think that's what I'm going to do because he can play any of the interior spots and he can play tackle in a pinch if you need it. At number 22, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't really want to give them Nate Wiggins. I don't like Nate Wiggins all that much to them. And, you know, I don't want to give him a linebacker either, even though that's kind of what they need the most. They need a safety, kind of, but they signed, no, they don't. They signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I just slurred that so bad. This is a very hard pick for them because you could, imagine going like Brian Thomas Jr. That would be a fucking nice pick for them. And I've done it a couple times, but it's just like out of pure value, like realistically, out of value, what do you do here? Olu's on the board, but I've heard teams are not that he wouldn't be taken in the first, but the idea that he's going to go top 15 is probably out the window, is from what I'm hearing. And obviously what I'm hearing is just people I follow on Twitter and everything like that. It's not like I have any sources, but I feel like just being very transparent, I spend a lot of time reading football stuff and a lot of time reading Twitter, and like I try not to follow too many accounts that, like, not rumor accounts, like actually like insiders or analysts. And just kind of with the way, as Peter King would say, the wind is blowing, Fashanu is not really shaping up to be. People were higher on him last year. Let's just say that. So 22 with the Eagles. You know what? I'm going to take a look at the Eagles tackle situation here, because I'm trying to remember if they're getting a little bit older. So they have Lane Johnson. He's 33. Okay. And then Mailata's young. So you need kind of a right tackle. And maybe you could go. Sorry, guys. I was looking up the Miami Trey Lance trade. 23. I do like Amarius Mims a lot. A guy that can play both tackle spots. And I think he would be Georgia. We know they love Georgia Bulldogs. So let's go Amarius Mims to kind of sit and develop behind Lane Johnson. At number 23, now we're in a good spot, guys. Let's give them. You could just take Olu Fashanu and pair him with Paris Johnson Jr. Then you don't got to move Paris Johnson. But you also, see, that's the thing is, you sign Jonah Williams. So, what did we go with at 11? We went Byron Murphy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them Brian Thomas Jr. here. See, Byron Murphy, but see. Oh, wait, you know what? So I don't want to add a tackle right now, actually. Let's give them Leatu Latu. So now you're really building your trenches on the defensive side. So now with Tyron Smith walking, let's go Olu Fashanu to the Cowboys. And at 25, we have the Green Bay Packers. I think, you can pair Tyler Nubin with Xavier McKinney and just tell him go crazy. It can kind of be nuts. And I saw Packers fans say that they weren't going to draft line in the first round because they haven't in a long, long time. And I get that. And I understand the Packers are really good at developing both sides of their trenches. Believe me, it's been years and years of us not being able to get to the quarterback. But I also feel like just because that's how y'all have done it, like that doesn't need to be like the solution. Like if a good player's there, you might as well take him. I'm not saying there is one here, but my point stands is just like you got to replace Runyon. I'm interested to see how that goes. You'll probably find another stud, honestly. But with defensive interior here, I don't really know what you'd want to do. You do need to add linebacker, but maybe not in the first round. I just think with Tyler Nubin here, it's kind of hard to pass him up, guys. At number 26, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the clock. And, they have their tackles. I think, this pick right here, the Zach Frazier pick, just makes so much sense. But also, it's like you do need kind of a cornerback in there. So I'm going to give him Kool-Aid McKinstry. 27, Brian Thomas Jr. is the easy pick. 28, we have the Buffalo Bills, who I actually think there's a chance that they trade up for. I think there is a small chance that they try to trade up for one of the top 3 receivers. I don't know how long Diggs is going to be there, guys. Just personal feeling. Like I said, like in the 2-round mock, or no, it was the free agency videos. The NFL is a slow league, where it's like if trade rumors happen, it doesn't happen for probably another year or two. And it just feels really drawn out, and it seems like Diggs has become kind of a headache for them. And with the kind of purging they've done of all the other players, he just kind of seems like, for example, can you honestly tell me that you believe deep down that if the Bills don't go to the Super Bowl this year, that he's going to be there next year? That's how I feel about it. And it's like, if you know that's how it's going to go, do you know how toxic that shit's going to be if shit ain't going their way this year? So I don't know. I'm not saying it's Diggs' problem. I'm not saying it's anyone's problem. I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's kind of the reality of the situation. So Adonai Mitchell is a good pick for them. I think the speed speaks for itself. I also think I've been seeing things that Xavier Worthy would kind of be nuts if you just let him loose with Josh Allen, especially with his cannon of an arm. So I'm going to give Xavier Worthy to the Buffalo Bills. I think he might go in the first, guys. I've been seeing some things. Detroit Lions on the board here. You know, they need help on the edge, and I like Chop Robinson to them. And Nate Wiggins is not the type of corner that would go to Detroit. That's not the type of football they play. And you could give Zach Frazier to play guard and move over. But, guys, I'm not completely convinced that Adonai Mitchell is not a Lion. I also think that if the Lions were able to move up in the second, Keon Coleman would be a very nice addition to the Lions. But I am going to give them Adonai Mitchell, I think. No. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. Chop Robinson is sitting here on the board. I can't do it. At number 30, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is a great spot for Adonai Mitchell. 31, Nate Wiggins to the San Francisco 49ers. Makes too much sense. Too much value on the board. They need cornerbacks. I can't believe J.C. Latham hasn't gone. J.C. Latham to the Kansas City Chiefs easily. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been day 16 of Mock Draft Madness. Let me know in the comments your favorite, least favorite pick, trade suggestions you want me to try. Leave a like. If you don't know ball, want to know ball, be sure to subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night.